Hello there, I'm Colin Newton, educational psychologist for nearly 40 years, director and co-founder of Inclusive Solutions. And here today we're going to talk about the importance of the story aspect of the MAP process. MAP being a fantastic person-centered planning process, which has a kind of therapeutic power. And what we've noticed at Inclusive Solutions is when we use the MAP process, particularly with families, with young people, or even with teams and organisations, there's a real therapeutic aspect to being able to share the story so far. So much so that people are getting drawn to it as an intervention around the world of trauma. And you can see why, because what we're trying to do is track the story right back to the earliest beginnings of the story. So this is around a child or a young person, that might be back to their birth or even before they were born, right up to the present day. And as with an organisation, similarly, as far back as anybody can remember within the organisation, right up to date. Now, if in the middle of that, or more recently, there's been some horrendous traumatic event that's taken place within the family, for the young person, for the organisation, for the service, for the team, we can hear the story can be told, it just kind of unfolds, the narrative just flows beautifully, and it doesn't just stop at the trauma, it carries on, because stories always do carry on. So there's a particular kind of power to this. Interestingly, we got involved in what happened with the Grenfell Tower. Three of the primary schools that were impacted directly, we got to work with the staff teams. And we used the MAP process. It was the obvious choice because the story, we were able to hear the story unravel, the narrative unravel, all the emotion and pain around the traumatic event of the fire and all the loss and death of the people involved. And obviously that directly impacted on some of the staff. But it then enabled us to move on with the story. And then because how the MAP process works, then we went on to dream about the future, talk about the nightmare, what people never want to see again, and so on with the rest of the steps of the MAP. So time and time again, and that's just one occasion, that was a very high tariff occasion, we're struck by just how powerful the MAP process is, particularly on the unravelling of the story. It allows us to talk about the past, talk about what's happened, before we go anywhere near thinking about the future. And there's many situations where we're planning, but we kind of need to do that. We need to think about, well, what's gone on already, what's happened with the family, what's happened around the young person, before we can go anywhere near thinking about the future and what the future might bring. So we strongly encourage you to work with that, to explore it, to learn more about the MAP process if you haven't come across it at all, but particularly value the narrative aspect, the story being told element, and notice just how therapeutic it is. Because as we know, and many psychologists will tell you, just to be listened to and to be heard without anything fancy being done is very therapeutic and very powerful in its own right. And I guess that's what's happening with the MAP. But added to this, you've got the extra power that what is said is recorded visually on the large graphic. So people really feel heard and listened to, and it stays there because it is literally recorded. So learn more about it. Hop on the website, get onto some of our self-paced learning perhaps. Certainly stay in touch with us here. If you've liked this video and want to hear more or got some questions or comments about the MAP process, just add them to the comments below. Click on like and obviously subscribe if you'd like to hear more of these automatically. Thanks for listening.